Okay, thank you, and welcome once again. We are moving on with the interpreter. Last time we looked at some definitions that I tried my best to expound. So today we are touching on another new thing to understand about the interpreter and interpretation. So we will go on as usual. I want you to read from the scriptures that I gave you. This one we called it peace be still, right? So we need to understand definitions. We need to understand the interpreter as a being, either connected to the creator or not, but we need to know true interpretations, true definitions, so that it will help us to understand where we are coming from, where we are, and where we are going. Can you read for us from the book of Mark? I gave you Mark chapter 4 from verse what?
38.
You can start from verse 37.
Mark chapter 4 from verse 37.
Yes.
A furious squall came up, and the waves broke over the boat, so that it was nearly swamped. Jesus was in the stern, sleeping on a cushion. The disciples woke him and said to him, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" He got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." Then the wind died down, and it was completely calm.
Okay, thank you. Which version is that?
NIV.
NIV. Then there was a great storm, okay, beating on the boat. Even the water was beginning to get inside of the boat. This happening, Jesus was asleep. He was sleeping, and there was a storm. If we have people who can use their machines to tell us that there is a storm which is approaching, they can stand and tell us that we are going to have a cyclone, and they can define that cyclone, they can define that hurricane. All these terms are coming from our own definitions. We look at it, we define it, we name it, and from our definitions, somehow that storm gains a bigger muscle. It develops into a stronger thing by our definitions. But here a storm is rising. Let's stop with dealing with demons, evil spirits, and so on. That's what Jesus was coming from doing. He had already driven away demons, evil spirits, healed the sick. Now this is a storm, a real storm from nature, okay? And Jesus is commanding that storm. They went to him and said, "Master, don't you care if we perish?" Are you listening to this language? Already they've defined this storm, and they are seeing the capacity or the ability to destroy them. So you are sleeping, and we are about to perish because of a storm, okay? And another man, Jesus Christ, is rising, and he's coming to them, and he's rebuking the wind. He said to the wind first, Can you go back to the scripture?
Verse
39.
39.
Yes.
He got up, rebuked the wind.
He rebuked the wind first.
And said to the waves, be quiet, be still.
He rebuked the wind and he said to the sea, if you read King James Version, and he said to the sea, peace, be still. Jesus defined what happened to be a danger to them according to that definition. He woke up and defined it another way. He is not just controlling the situation, but he is defining the situation. He is telling the wind to stop, and he is telling the waves to be at peace. And there was a great calm. Okay? So if we had a people who had already defined this storm, I want you to understand that in this current moment, we have got situations that had already affected us. Why? Because we defined them. We named them. We studied their capacity. And we gave them even more capacity. If we had never defined a hurricane, we see a wind, we see a storm coming up, and we define that storm. Then that storm gains power from our definition. If you define something, you are giving it, you are equipping it, you are giving it power. So Jesus had to wake up, and he didn't respond according to them to look for buckets to remove water inside the boat or to handle the ship. No. He knew I need to define the nature. What I am going to say to the nature, it has to respond according to that. So there is a power that we have that we are not using. If I can tell you, we have got situations that caused a lot of harm, that destroys a lot. We lost a lot of things, properties, to situations that we were supposed to define, and they follow our definition. Okay, let's go to the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 5 from verse what? I gave you the verses.
Revelation chapter 5 from verse 9 to 10.
Good.
From NIV.
Yes.
And they sang a new song. You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slain, and with your blood you purchased the men for God from every tribe and language and people and nation. You have made them to be a kingdom and priests to serve our God, and they will reign on the earth.
Don't move away from that scripture. They sang a new song, saying, you are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals. Okay? And you have made them a kingdom. Can you come again? And by your blood you did what?
And they sang a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book,
Yes.
and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to God
Redeemed us to God
by thy blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
You have redeemed us by your blood. You have redeemed us for God from every tribe, every people, every tongue or every language, and every nation. Okay? Redeemed. And you have made us to be a kingdom. I want you to understand today that being a Christian or belonging to Christ is not a religion. In other words, Christianity is not a religion. If you receive Jesus Christ today, you are not just becoming a religious person. We will look at definitions today. I want you to understand, we have got people who believe, we've got their beliefs, and they've got their religions. If you talk of Christianity, they are just seeing a religion as good as their own religion. Okay? We have got different religions here under the earth. Are we together? So, in all those religions, if they look at Christians, they are just seeing a people who fall under a certain religion, which is just different from their own. Nothing different. But here there's something that was done. If we look at Jesus Christ, we are only preaching a Jesus Christ who came and died for our sins and rised and went back to heaven. And we need to receive Jesus Christ because he died for us. Okay? For our sins. That's what we are just looking at. But I want you to understand that there's an activity that Jesus Christ is doing. After dying and rising, he went to heaven. In heaven, and he is now holding his place that he had before he came to the earth, right? And he is saying, he is sending an angel to bring a revelation to John of things that will now take place. Are you seeing this? He is showing John to bring a revelation to earth of things that will take place. Here Jesus is standing in heaven. John was invited to heaven, and he went to heaven. He is seeing a community in heaven. If you listen to him, he said, I saw him who was seated on the throne, and in his right hand he was holding a book, right? And no one was found in heaven or on earth or under the earth who was able to open that book. Not just to open, but to take it from his hand and to open the seals. Not even one. No one was found who is able to do that. And he began to cry. And an elder said to him, do not weep, for the Lion of the tribe of Judah is able to go and take the scroll. I want to show you something before I start explaining this thing. He is now referred to as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. The Lion of the tribe of Judah has got to do with kingship. Okay? Lordship, earthly kingship. You will sit on the throne. So he is referred to as the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He lifted his eyes and he saw a lamb. But the elder said to him, look, the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So the man who is able to take the scroll and to open its seals, the scroll is talking of something inside the scroll that were never opened in heaven. There were elders in heaven. There were angels in heaven. But all of them, they could not open this thing. The only man who had to open it is a king, according to the lineage of David. And when he opened the seals, we see the living creature saying, come. And we see horses coming in. There's an explanation and a definition according to each. 6 of them coming out of each time when the living creature say come, somebody comes out. All these who are coming, they are directed to the earth. And the power that is beginning now, which John is being showed, he has got a power which is different and which can only be unlocked from a certain kingdom. Not from a religion, but from a certain kingdom. So the Lion of the tribe of Judah was qualified to open the seals. And we start seeing something coming. So I want you to understand that if you receive Jesus Christ, don't define it as a religion. Because what he did, he died to redeem men from people, from tribes, from languages, from nations. So if we have got a religion, whatever religion that you have, he died to redeem people from that religion. So don't hold on to your religion and you define Christianity as a religion. Because he redeemed them to make them what? Into a kingdom. He made them kings and priests, but first kings. So Christianity has got to do with a certain kingdom. And this kingdom owns life. It owns the universe. It owns everything that you can define or put in place. I want you to look at the book of Matthew. The book of Matthew. It's chapter 2, right?
Yes. Verse 1 to 2.
Verse 1 and 2.
Chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem, in Judea,
Yes.
during the time of King Herod,
Yes.
Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star in the east and have come to worship him.
When Jesus was born, the Magi came from the east. Another version says the wise men came all the way from the east. And they said, where is he who is born King of the Jews? Are you listening to the definition? They are seeing a king who is born to who? To the Jews. We have seen his star. These men were astrologers. They count the stars. They look at the stars, they define things. They can tell a character. They can tell the future by looking at the stars. We touched on this last time, right? So they believed in that. The Magi, if we look at these men, they were religious men. The Magi, the word Magi means kings. They were considered kings in the East. According to their culture, those who studies astronomy, astrologers were given a position in the courts to help in judging. So they were considered as kings. According to their tradition, these men used to worship a certain god. They called their god a god of wisdom. And their religion believed in an unending battle between right and evil. Okay? They promote what they call righteousness or doing good. And they were against evil. And they believed it to be an unending battle between good and evil. Right? So at the East, if we look at these men, one of them came from India, another one from Asia, another one from Persia, not Asia, and another one from Arab. So from those nations, this religion was like dominant. They saw a star. Listen to this now. The interpreter, right? They were considered the interpreters in their religion, in their time. They could look at the stars and define things and interpret things. So in this time, when Jesus was born, they saw a star. They used to define the stars they saw in the skies. But there appeared a star, and somehow they were able to know the star or to define the star. They knew this star has got to do with a certain king who is to be born, and they had to follow the star to locate the king who is born. They followed the star and they came to Jerusalem. These are the words of these men. We have seen his star and we followed the star. We are now here inquiring, where is this man who is born king of the Jews? By their interpreting the skies, they could not realize that in this time, God is trying to deliver them from a religion. God was about to deliver these men, not only them, but even the nations who used to believe in these men, to listen to these men, even to crown them as kings, and they were listened to. So God had to send a star to deliver them from their own kind of interpretation, so that when they followed this star and find a true king who was born, they would be able to define a king who is born, who has come to deliver them from what? From a religion. But they failed to define him. They followed a star. they somehow tried to define the star. Okay? But when they followed the star, they found a king. And they defined a king the wrong way. To them, he was just a king of the Jews. And they failed to receive him. They honored him. They presented their gifts, but they did not receive him as a king who have come to deliver them. That's why we still have all other religions who are comfortable. Why? Because they also believe in their God. They also believe in their religion. They also follow their rules and their traditions. Okay? But we here are having a king who is standing in the heavens, opening the seals that has got to do with the destruction of the current earth and the current heaven. Okay? So if you have got a religion and your religion cannot sustain this earth in this time, listen to me. A man who is standing in heaven, bringing a revelation to John, he is opening the seals that were never opened in heaven. No one in heaven was able to open those seals, even on the earth, even under the earth. Okay? So if you have got your religion or your tradition or your kingdom, which is here on earth or in heaven, the current one, or under the earth, and your religion or your kingdom is not able to sustain the earth at the time when this man is about to destroy it, you need to make a choice. I'm not advising you to leave your religion, but you need somehow to sit down with your gods or your kings to prepare a certain place that will endure this time. Because if you don't have that power, which means you are falling under a religion or a tradition that you need to be delivered from, because it will not sustain you. It will not give you a habitation. He died on the cross, and by his blood, he purchased men for God from every language, from every people, from every tribe, from every nation. So if you belong to a certain nation or a certain people, and you can't sustain the earth or the current heaven against this destruction, then you need to make another choice. Because this is not about religion. This is not about your beliefs. But it's about a certain kingdom that has got a power to destroy what we have in a current time and to bring new heaven and to bring new earth. So he made them kings and priests, and they will reign where? On the earth. Which earth? Because he is able to open the seals. And what is coming out of the seals? What is it that is coming out of the seals? The seals. That's when destruction is being released. The destroyers of the current earth and the current heaven are being released from the seals. He is opening a dimension that no one in heaven can open. No one on earth can open. So what kind of a kingdom or a religion you fall under will resist this? I'm trying to help a lot of people here, because I'm not trying to bring you to Christianity as a religion, because it's not a religion. There could be religion in Christianity, but Christianity is not a religion, it's a kingdom. And that kingdom owns everything. It owns life, it owns creation. So if you fall under a kingdom that cannot control life, that cannot control creation. Okay, look at the book of Mark. I gave you Mark chapter what?
Chapter 7.
Chapter 7 from verse what?
7 to 13.
Verse 7 to 13. Okay, can you read that?
Mark chapter 7, verse 7 to 13.
Yes.
They worship me in vain.
Okay.
Their teachings are but rules taught by men.
Okay.
You have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to the traditions of men. And he said to them, you have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, honor your father and your mother, and anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. But you say that if a man says to his father or mother, whatever help you might otherwise have received from me is korban, that is a gift devoted to God, then you no longer let him do anything for his father or mother. Thus you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like that.
And you do many things like that. You hand down your traditions. Not only that, you do many things like that. Go back to the first verse. We want to look at it again, going down. He's saying you are making of no power the command. What? The commands, the commandments of God. In some place Jesus says, him who loves me will keep my command. Command, not traditions, not being religious, but the commands. This is coming from a king, from a certain kingdom. You need to obey the commands. Okay? If we have got a kingdom or a nation with a king or a president, they give you laws that even if you have got your religion, if there's a law that no one goes outside on Monday, with your religion, you will need to listen to the command. Are we together? So if we have got a king here who is saying you need to follow the commands, commandment, not traditions, not religion, but commands. So if you have got your religion, I'm not worried about that. But as long as you can't make another earth or another heaven in the day when he showed up, and the current heaven and earth will find no place. Listen, what I'm talking about today is got to do with places. If you don't want to receive Jesus Christ, don't receive him. Okay? But You need a place on this day. Because he will appear, and the current heaven and the current earth will disappear. They will be destroyed. They will have no place at his appearing. But you will need to be somewhere. So if your king or your God or your religion cannot provide or accommodation during this time, you need to make a choice to belong to the kingdom of Christ. Maybe you still have your religion with you, but somehow you need to belong to this kingdom, because this is the only kingdom that will provide somewhere for you to set your foot, whether on the physical or in the spirit. Are we together? I want you to look at this. I want to help some religious people. That's why I'm touching this today. There are religious people who are very comfortable in their religion, and they believe Christians and them were just the same. If they want to keep their religion, they may keep it, but they need to submit. Because if you are in a certain nation and there's a president, there's a government, if that government has got power in that territory to overrule your religion or your traditions, it's like that, because you don't own a territory with your religion, okay? They own that territory, and with your religion you are inside their territory. So you have to obey what they say, their commands, okay? So if we have got a people under the earth with their religions, if your religion cannot own this creation, somehow with your religion you need to obey a kingdom that owns creation. Why? Because that kingdom is responsible to destroy and to make. Okay, I want to show you something. We are here on the earth, all of us. If you belong to Christ, okay, and you die, you don't go to hell, right? You go to a certain place. If you don't belong to Christ and you die, you don't make a choice. You don't choose a place where to go. If you don't belong to Christ, whether you are doing right according to your tradition, according to your religion, you practice good things, you practice what you could call righteousness. But if you don't belong to Christ and you die, you go to hell. It's not your choice to make. The decision was already made. Just like how you can't jump and continue go up if you are not a bird which can fly. You are pulled by the force of gravity. It's not a choice of yours to make, even of your religion, even of your tradition. The choice is already made, right? So I'm trying to come back to definitions here, because according to our traditions and according to our religions, we define things according to our own, but that will not change the end of things. So whether you belong to which religion, and you have got your beliefs and you have got your God, but if you die and you don't belong to Christ, you will go to hell. Are you seeing something? It's a place. So I think I would advise you to still being, for example, Hindus or Muslims. These are examples. With your religion, I think you still need to receive Christ if you need a place or accommodation in this time. I don't know if you are getting me. Can you give me some definitions according to your searches? What is religion? What is the meaning of religion? And what is the meaning of kingdom? A kingdom, if we have a kingdom, what is a kingdom? What is religion?
From the Advanced English Dictionary, religion is a strong belief in a supernatural power or powers that control human destiny.
Okay. That's religion.
Yes, and also it went on to explain that it is also an institution.
Yes.
To express belief in a divine power.
An institution to express belief in what?
In a divine power.
In a divine power.
Yes.
What is the first part saying?
A strong belief in a supernatural power or powers
Yes.
that control human destiny.
Okay. A power that controls human destiny. Okay? A strong belief in a certain supernatural power or a God that controls human destiny. So if you are believing in a certain power which is supernatural and it controls human destinies, that is religion. But that is not a kingdom. Can we have a kingdom? A meaning to kingdom, a definition of a kingdom. What is a kingdom?
A kingdom is a domain in which something is dominated, or a country with a king as a head of state.
Okay. A country with what?
With a king as a head of state.
Okay. So if we have got a country and a king who is head of states, all decisions are made from that authority, right? We have got governance that decides whether you stay at a place or you evacuate, not at your choice. Are we together? All right. So if we have got a religion, and we are saying a religion is a strong belief in a supernatural power that controls human destinies, right? So we have got the wise men. These were wise men according to the East. According to their places, they were wise men, right? Why? Because they could tell the future. According to who? According to their God. A supernatural what? Power. A supernatural being. And that supernatural power controls their destinies. That's religion, right? So in Christianity, yes, we could say we have got a strong belief into the God of heaven, who controls our destinies. I'm not worried with that, but let's put that aside. Here we've got a Jesus who owns a kingdom, and that kingdom has got power over creation. So with your beliefs and with your religion, if you don't have power to create, if you don't have power over this creation, and you only have a strong belief in a certain God who controls your destinies, I want you to tell me your position at this time, because Jesus now in this place in the book of Revelations, Jesus is now addressing not from heaven, not from earth, but he is addressing from eternal. He is now crowned with the authority that he had in the eternity. So approaching from there, he is qualified to open the seals. And the dimension that he is opening, if we read going down, he is opening the scroll, and we're seeing horses which are advancing out from what he is opening. Another one was sent to conquer. He was given power to conquer on the earth. Okay? And another one was given power. He was given a scale. Can you go back to the book of Revelations?
Revelation chapter 5.
Yes. When he opened the scrolls,
9 to 10.
let's move together there. And when he opened the first scroll, is it chapter 5 or is now chapter 6?
Chapter 6, verse 1. As I watched, the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror, bent on conquest. When the Lamb opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature say, "Come." Then another horse came out, a fair red one. Its rider was given power to take peace from the earth and to make men slay each other. To him was given a large sword.
Are you listening to that? Don't rush. Don't rush. The first one was sent to do what? To conquer. And the second one was sent to take away peace from where? From the earth. Are you seeing this? So are you seeing this thing is now addressing at a kingdom level? The one is sent to conquer the earth, and the next one is sent to take away peace from the earth. So this is coming from a kingdom that has got control over the earth. So if we have got our religion, and the religion cannot stop this power, cannot stop the one who is sent to take away peace. It's a command, right? They are commanded to go and do this. Okay, let's move to the next one.
When the Lamb opened the third seal,
Yes.
I heard the third living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a black horse. Its rider was holding a pair of scales in his hand. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a day's wage, and 3 quarts of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine." When the Lamb opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature say, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death, and Hades was following close behind him. They were given power over a fourth of the earth, to kill by sword, famine, plague, and by the wild beasts of the earth.
Don't close. Hold on there. Now listen to me. These armies which are sent to the earth, death and heads are following him. They are sent to the earth, right? So, do we have a religion that can stop people from dying? Do we have a religion that can stop people from death? If we have got someone who is commanding death, telling death to go and kill on the earth, that person or that being has got decision to make for the one who is dead and the one who is left alive. Okay? Don't close there. I want you to read again. Another one was sent to give limitation. What your money can buy or what your wealth can do is only according to the command which is now given to this man. And who is sending him has got power over existence on the earth. If you go on with it, you hear the last one saying, when you open the scroll, okay, go on. Go on.
When he opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. They called out in a loud voice, "How long, sovereign Lord, holy and true, until you judge the inhabitants of the earth and avenge our blood?"
Go on.
Then each of them was given a white robe, and they were told to wait a little longer until the number of their fellow servants and brothers who were to be killed as they had been was completed.
Yes, next verse.
I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake.
Listen to that.
The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red, and the stars in the sky fell to earth as late figs drop from a fig tree when shaken by a strong wind. The sky receded like a scroll, rolling up. Every mountain and island was removed from its place. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and every slave, and every free man hid in caves among the rocks of the mountains. They called to the mountain, and the rocks fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Good. Don't close that one. Now listen to me. The seals are being opened, and they are effecting changes that any divine power cannot effect, but could find ways to interpret them, to define them, or control them. I think if you are spiritual, you hear me. You open the seal, and the moon is turning into a certain color, into blood, okay? And the stars are falling down. If we have got a God who is communicating through the same stars, and they are prophets or wise men who are honored by fortune telling, looking at the stars, okay? And the same stars that they look at to tell you the future, they are falling down to the earth. And the same religion and the same power cannot hold them and replace them. Okay? They fall down to the ground. And we are seeing the earth being removed. The earth here, we have got astronomy. They study the skies. They even classify it. They even start searching for life, searching for rocks and whatever in the skies. Okay? All those things that are being removed. And a power that is removing all those things. And we have got a religion which has a God, which has got a supernatural power that controls people's destinies according to its definitions. And you fall under that religion. You worship that God. The God is defining things according to the information that is coming from a certain body, from a certain star. But there is a kingdom that owns the star, and that kingdom can decide when to throw that star away. Which means you had your definitions. It's coming back even to your science. You are defining a storm, but there is a kingdom which has got a man who can stand up and say peace. He can rebuke the wind. You can define the wind and tell your people that you will be safe because I am your God. I can secure you from a hurricane. You can tell them a future according to what you saw coming, and that hurricane can come and they can say we worship a God. And you will not fall into trouble. Why? Because you have been told the future and it happens according to that. But there is a power that controls. Are you getting me? There is a power that owns what your God can define and protect you from. So I'm not stopping you from your religions or from following your traditions. Do it. But you need to have connection to a kingdom that has got power over these things. Because you can listen to your scientists, you can listen to your studies, and they can tell you what is coming. If I can give you this example, please don't quote me wrong. Who defines COVID-19? Who named it? Is there not a power who was able just to tell the source to stop? Why? Because you have got a power to define, and after defining, you are putting a solution, right? You are not putting to an end, but you are putting a solution. Even if you are a God, or a religion, you could protect your people from this. You could prophesy ahead of time that there's something that is coming, but you will be safe. And people who have a strong belief into a certain power, a divine power that will control their destinies. Okay? But is that power able to stop, to go back to a source where everything was brought from and control things from there? Because that place can only be an eternal place. And there's a kingdom. Going down here, it's saying, and every man, a free man, if you consider yourself free, everyone who is free, everyone who is not even free, a slave, all kings, every man on the earth, by the moment the skies are removed and the heavens are disappearing, they will look for death. They will search for death. You don't have power to stop death, right? But the man who is opening the seals here will stop death at that moment. With your religions, with your beliefs, they will look for death. They will look for mountains. There's a great earthquake that will take place, right? And you will try to go under a rock, but the rock will resist to kill you. You will look for lions. Kana uine mshonga wemakonzo ukauchengeta ukanwa magi remushonga wemakonzo, zvese zvakadaro zvofeila, poshayikwa rufu, not because of a religion, but because of a man who is opening these seals from a certain kingdom. Are you getting me? So we are, in our religions, these men who are considered wise men, if they were wise enough, they were supposed to understand that we are being led to a certain kingdom. If you are listening to me today and we have got your tradition, we have got people today vanoramba kuti izvi hazvizve kwedu izvi, chivanhu chokwedu tochiziva izvozvo. Jesu ye mwanakomana waMwari ndizvozvo, but isi tine tradition yetu nechivanhu chedu. They can't receive Jesus Christ because of chivanhu chavo, right? We have got religions. They believe themselves to be the same with us or with Christians. Why? Because they see a religion when they look at Christ. But Christianity is not a religion. There could be religion in Christianity. Go to the book of James. James chapter 1. James chapter 1, verse 27, if I'm not mistaken.
James chapter 1, verse 27. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this:
Yes.
to look for after orphans and
Yes.
widows
Yes.
in their distress,
Yes.
and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world.
Did you get that? Can you come again?
The religion that God our Father accepts is pure and faultless is this:
Yes.
to look after orphans and widows
Yes.
in their distress,
Yes.
and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world.
This is the only religion that God accepts as pure. That one. That's the only religion which is pure before God. That's why Jesus was fighting religion. Jesus came to redeem people from religion. He said, if you go back to the book of Mark, the chapter we read, he is saying, you are making the commandments of God of no power because of your tradition. Their traditions are customs according to their religion, right? And he is now defining religion which is according to a kingdom. If we have got kings under the earth, otherwise they are practicing that. And maybe Christians are not doing this. We've got some people who are even better religious. If we are now talking of religion, this is now religion. Some things that we are practicing and doing in our ministries, in our religions, in our religious groups and whatever, they are not even religion. When it comes to a king who owns life, who owns creation, who decides when to destroy it, and how to accommodate people, and how to stop death. You can't stop death with your religions, with your gods. You can't stop death. You will never do that. But there is a kingdom that will stop it, that decides when you should die or not. So Christianity is not just a religion, it's a kingdom. If you belong to Christ, you are belonging to a kingdom that owns life. I'm here to define the God that you would be worshipping, maybe knowing him or not. Because at a certain place, Paul said, I'm here to define a certain God. There were people who worshipped a different kind of gods. But there's a certain God whom they worshipped, but not knowing him. So I'm trying to define a God here. If you have got your gods, it's not a problem with me. Maybe it's a problem with God of heaven. Worship your gods, but you need to try to have a relationship with Christ. You need to receive Christ and go back to be a Hindu or a Muslim or whatever. Why? Because Christ is the owner of creation. And there's a certain day, after dying, he went somewhere and he is preparing, he is releasing an army to put an end to this earth and this heaven and bring on new things. So when he appears, the one who sits on the throne from eternity, the current earth and the current heaven will pass away. They will find no place. So if you need a place, kana uchida munda, kana nzvimbo, kana stand, musha, kana uchuda, after this time, you have no option, but you need Christ. And you have no option, but you need to obey his commands. This is a governance that owns our being, all human beings, all life, everything that exists, that is living or not living. That government which decides to take away or to put back, you need to have a relationship with it for you to have a place. So if you die today without Christ, you don't choose where to go, you go to hell. That's certain. If you belong to Christ, maybe if you are allowed to have your religions after belonging to him, I don't know, but you need Christ. So if you are defining Christianity as a religion, I'm sorry, we might have religion, we might be religious in Christianity, but it's a kingdom. And that's the only kingdom that makes decisions for life, for places, and for future, which is certain and which will never change by your definitions. So however you are defining things now, if there is someone who can speak from that kingdom, that voice can decide. It will not just bring solutions according to your definitions. Why? Because you are bringing solutions according to the storm. You are defining a storm, right? And you are bringing a solution. But if someone is speaking from a kingdom that owns creation, he decides whether to stop the storm or to let it continue. I think I've spoken. Can you ask if you've got questions before we close? Do you have something to ask? Next week we are moving with the interpreter, the last part. That one I need spiritual people. I'm not giving you milk. So if you still need milk, we will help you to digest what we are saying. Because if you still need milk and you think you are grown up and you think you are digesting solid food, you will not understand the gospel that we are preaching.